medical information. Since everyone's individual situation is unique, you should consult your own physician before taking any action related to your personal health. All content of this program is intended for general informational purposes only. Good morning and welcome to Leading Edge Medicine with Dr. Jerry Mixon and Dr. Samira Umat. Leading Edge Medicine is sponsored by Longevity Medical Clinics and is devoted to helping you feel and function better tomorrow than you do today by providing the newest and most advanced medical care designed to improve both your body and your brain. Leading Edge Medicine will keep you informed regarding the very latest developments in science and medicine while highlighting some of the Northwest's most prominent physicians, all while helping you separate the science from the silly and the facts from the fiction. This is live call-in radio at its very best, giving you the opportunity to participate in the show. Now, here are your hosts for Leading Edge Medicine, Dr. Jerry Mixon and Dr. Samira Umat, along with their co-host, Lynette Morgan.
Hi there, and welcome to Leading Edge Medicine as I bang on my microphone.
Why not?
Yes. Good morning. I'm Lynette, along with Dr. Samira Umat and Dr. Nathaniel Armstrong this morning. It's Leading Edge Medicine. We are into the week of Christmas. I love, Dr. Umat, that you are in a beautiful red color. You've got your pearls today, very Christmassy. I'm red too. And Dr. Nathaniel Armstrong just having the classy black at Christmas time, which goes with everything.
There you go.
Gray and black. Perfect. Yay. Yeah. How are you doing with Christmas preparations? Things.
It's always kind of a lot, right?
Hang on.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything. His wife did everything. Okay.
I don't know. I think that Dr. Umat.
Did you
ordered
buy
some
her
of
a gift?
the gifts. I
Yes.
stashed them around the place.
Okay.
I picked up a thing or two from the
You
store.
know, the time that that the kids started wanting electronic things, it all just went to the husband. I said,
There you go.
handle that. I don't know what they
Unless
want.
they have to assemble.
Just make sure they have what they want, is what I said.
Now, if they have to assemble on Christmas Eve, that, bikes and putting doll houses together, yeah, that falls to the dad too.
Yeah, the
Because
classic.
the mom is usually frantically wrapping and no matter, we know it's the same day every year and yet it sneaks up on us.
It certainly does. The tradition in our family used to be that on Christmas Eve, we would send the kids to bed early and then we would sit down with a glass of wine and all the wrapping. And it would take us hours. He and I would have a good time. We would laugh a lot.
Woohoo.
And then a few years ago, the tables turned. The kids said, Mom and Dad, go to bed.
Whoa, I love it.
So it was quite funny. I laughed so hard. But yeah, it's a good time of the year. Lots of people have tradition, but also it's a hard time of the year for many people.
Yes.
So we acknowledge that. And then again, it's just another day. And I find that we make it a little bit more commercial than we really need to. It really does need to be about togetherness, time spent with each other more than anything else. I think that is the best gift you can give, the gift of time.
There you go.
Yeah.
So if I were to tell you that I put How the Grinch Stole Christmas decor in the grandkid room, little commercial there. It was on sale. It was on sale. They had,
Well, the Grinch is anti-commercial.
Okay, so there you go. So
Well, the Grinch is on all the commercials lately for Walmart. So
he was cute and he was on sale. So
And he was on sale. Okay,
yes, and I
Lynette.
figured, my kids will love him. The grandkids will love him. So it's okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anything that grandma brings is good. Doesn't matter.
Yes. Lots of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's just dive into what's making medical news today on Leading Edge Medicine. And let me give that phone number for those early birds that are up with their cup of coffee, ready with their questions, because, of course, we will not be in live next week. We'll be recorded. So here's the number. Don't forget to call us today. Don't want to push that off for into the new year. 1-800-465-8770. Your questions about you, your health as you're aging. Specifically, that's what the doctors focus on and their specialties. All right. How about Dr. Umat? Let's kick it off. What would you like to discuss first thing this morning on Leading Edge Medicine?
Yeah. So I just came back from the American Academy meeting, and it was actually quite inspiring and a little overwhelming. And I knew to expect it to be huge. So I have been going to this academy for almost 20 years now. I am board certified in age management medicine by them. And I go back to see what is in the new age management arena every year. And I find that they do keep up with the latest that is being discussed, let's say, by everybody. And so their speakers are appropriate for what is the hot topic of that time. And this time, there were a lot of very interesting speakers. The biggest topic in the keynote speakers was mostly about muscle health and about diet and lifestyle. And in muscle health, we've all been talking. So all of our patients at Longevity Medical Clinics know that the biggest focus right now is improving muscle health, because sarcopenia, or loss of muscle mass, happens to everybody as they get older. It's very interesting that in our clinics, we do measure body composition at every visit. It is important to see what is happening to body composition and how do we adjust for that. And so what I do for my patients is I give them little goals. So the body composition we do does give us a little bit of a guideline in telling our patients how much body fat or muscle mass they need to build or lose, whichever we're talking about, in an effort to be at their ideal level. And so I use that as a guideline, but then I make their own goals for them. And that's how I individualize the program for them. And then I give them the tools and the resources to succeed. And then when they come back in 3 months, we look to see whether we achieve that goal or not and what we're going to do. So the big topic was, how do you build and maintain muscle? Because it is important not just for mobility, for brain-derived neurotropic factors to help you fight inflammation, but also for you to remain independent as you get older. And so as you talk about the squaring of the health curve and improving a health span in lifespan so that you can enjoy good health till the very end, this is what the topic was, basically. And it's apt and appropriate for year end, as all of us are reflecting on what has happened in 2025 to us individually. And as we are planning and making resolutions to go into 2026, you think about yourself first. And as I've been talking to my patients, it's obviously everybody that comes to us is focusing on their health, right? They are coming and making an effort to see us because they are interested in maintaining health and wellness. So the big emphasis is, how do we help them maintain health and wellness? And one of the biggest things I think this year has been in the GLP-1 industry, how people have been successful like never before in being able to lose weight. And that has then triggered for them an area of wellness that improves, first and foremost, their self-confidence and their self-esteem. As you succeed in one mission, it then helps you build for other missions. And the huge conference that just concluded in Europe, in Copenhagen, actually, where they talked about aging and health and wellness, some of the markers that we have seen improve with the GLPs and with weight loss particularly is in decrease in inflammation markers and improvement in heart health. Remember, heart health is the #1 killer in the United States. So if we can change those parameters, and if you lower total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol level, and we know that when we do that, we can reduce the risk for heart disease. So if you do that with the GLP-1 medications, then it equates to the fact that we will then make an impact on heart disease as well. And then the second things they're looking at after that are, cancer risk reduction. And one of the big ones that is talked about actually in the biostacking conference that I attended was about cognition, about the APO4 gene and those people that have inherited that gene and what they can do to reduce their risk for developing dementia. And the GLP-1 medications are tied closely to that. And the EVOKE-3 trial is now in phase 3 clinical trials where they're looking particularly at the impact of the GLP on cognition. So weight loss first, but then with that comes the whole spectrum of health and wellness. Cognition, heart disease, bone health, muscle health. Muscle will decrease with the GLPs, but that's why where we come in as providers is very important, because your provider will help monitor you and make sure that with the body composition, we are measuring your muscle loss. So if you're losing weight on the GLP medications, you could be losing muscle. It is very important to make sure that you stop the downward slide on muscle mass, but you actually lose fat. And that's what we do with our patients, and that's how we help them. And so there are many aspects of the GLP medications that are important. Certainly many providers are becoming more comfortable. Know that your longevity doctors are trained in how to use these medications safely and successfully for you, and that makes a big difference. The other big topic in the GLP medications that is of note is the microdosing issue. Everybody's talking about it, and everybody is asking about it. And even Lynette knows a lot about it.
Yeah, I'm learning every week. Yes.
Yeah. So know that there is no published guideline on microdosing. And so if an online doctor tells you they can microdose for you, they're just flying by the seat of their pants. There's nothing that is published that says this is the right way to do it, and this is the way that has been successful. Now, it makes sense that it will work and that people will gain something from microdosing. So yes, we do need to do the studies, and I think some are already on way. And yes, it makes sense for somebody that has been on the GLP to kind of try to see for multiple reasons if they can do with a little less dose and be successful. But we don't know what that dose is or what that frequency is. So make sure you have somebody trained helping you as you navigate this journey. And this is the time of year when a lot of people are thinking about it. There's a lot of food around us around this time of the year. There's a lot of temptation. And with the medication, you can resist the temptation, but you can also be successful in your goals and maintain health and wellness. Enjoy the food, but not overindulge, because you don't want that metabolic dysfunction to get any worse, and then all of the underlying issues that come from that. So it was very interesting meeting, very interesting conference. I was so glad that I went, learned a ton, and so huge now. It was actually almost overwhelming. And then as I walked into the hall where all of the vendors were, it seemed like there were so many more this year than ever before. I didn't go last year, so I have missed 1 year. But as I walked in, and I knew the first thing I did was to take a deep breath and said, I have to be strategic about where I go. Because there was a time when I used to start at one end and go till the other end, and you could cover everything. And now there's no point, because you're not even going to remember what you saw. So you have to be strategic about who you want to visit, how valuable your time is, and where you want to spend it. So there is one thing that we are talking about. Dr. Mixon and I talked about it earlier in the week. And that's something that I'm really intrigued about. And we have established contact with the company, and that's biological clocks. So all longevity patients know. Lynette, am I good for time? Or
yes, you've got 2 more minutes before I start giving you the signs.
Okay, thank you. So all longevity patients know that we can measure chronological age. We know for you, but we measure your biological age as well to kind of give you an idea of how healthy are you? Are you really as healthy as you think you are? Or is there some things that we can do to kind of improve your biology? But it was all lumped into one biology. And that was great. We thought this was really very good. But now we know that there are companies that will do systems biology. So they will, with one blood test, be able to tell us what is your cognitive age, what is your heart and cardiovascular age, respiratory age, musculoskeletal age, endocrine age, metabolic age. And so that is very fascinating to me, because remember, I always say it's the weakest link that'll take you down. And so if we come back to find out, okay, that cholesterol really is a problem and your heart health is the biggest issue, then it gives us a focus, right? So to date, I have used my patient's history and their symptoms to guide me in what the focus of that visit is going to be. But now we also have a clock that will tell us that our focus needs to be this until we retest it and change and see where we're going. So very exciting things coming down in age management medicine. Super excited about it. Very happy to see the interest in the general public and how big the conference has become, which obviously tells me that there are a lot more people asking the same questions. So very happy that we've been here. Dr. Mixon started the clinics 30 years ago. I've been here with him 15 years, but I've been board certified almost 20 years. So very, very excited that we chose something when nobody knew about it.
Exactly.
But now, look, everybody wants it.
Yes,
so
they do.
We have built a very strong foundation here at Longevity Medical Clinic. And with Dr. Mixon and I, our role is mostly to look for what is new and upcoming and promising. And there are a few things down the pipeline that we have been working on together that we will now talk about in the new year. So this
Very
is
good.
just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh.
And we are focusing on senescent cells, mitochondrial health, so much more. And remember, he and I look at published data. We looked at studies that show that this research is feasible, it has been proven, and it can be beneficial. So very, very
Absolutely.
excited.
Oh, yes. Dr. Samira Umat and Dr. Nathaniel Armstrong here. I'm Lynette. We will be back, and you can call in. The phone lines are open now. 1-800-465-8770, Leading Edge Medicine. We'll be right back.
Leading Edge Medicine. Leading Edge Medicine. Join in the conversation at 1-800-465-8770 and tell your friends to listen. That's 1-800-465-8770.
Is chronic pain beginning to make your everyday life a challenge? Then consider the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. That's Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, with Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. Here's what a satisfied patient had to say.
Yeah, I started about like a year and a half ago. I started having some sharp pain in my left hip. It was getting tough to climb upstairs, tough to play with the kids. Everybody was kind of pointing towards the same thing of, you had to get a hip replacement. And Dr. Nelson's great about saying, hey, there's different types of medicine out there that we can help fix this without surgery. 6 to 8 weeks later, you start to realize like, oh, I can climb a stair. And it was really actually kind of great after that 8-week mark, like, I can start doing things. So definitely see the results pretty quick.
Don't let pain take control of your life. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD. 425-823-4000. That's 425-823-4000. Or you can find Dr. Daniel Nelson online at danielnelsonmd.com.
Have you stopped to think about how you feel today compared to, say, 10 years ago? Are you noticing changes? Less energy, slow recovery, trouble focusing, maybe even weight gain? What if you could turn back the clock and feel stronger, sharper, and more alive? At Longevity Medical Clinic, we help people do exactly that. For over 3 decades, we've been helping thousands of men and women find out what's really going on inside their bodies and take action to feel better and live longer. With advanced diagnostics and personalized hormone and supplement plans, we uncover what's been holding you back and show you how to optimize your health. Our patients often say, now I finally understand what's happening and what to do about it. Take the first step today. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com to schedule your free consultation. Longevity Medical Clinic. Feel better. Live longer. Let's do it together.
Oh, it's time to get ready for the holidays and the new year coming up at Bella Medica. We believe that you deserve to look and feel your very best. We're committed to providing you with the safest and most effective treatments available to make you look and feel your very best. Whether you're coming in for a facial, maybe some injectables, or perhaps using some of our laser treatments, Bella Medica has something for everyone. And this month, here are our specials, perfect for the upcoming holidays. Get party ready and schedule your PicoSure or IPL treatment all this month. It's a BOGO. Buy one, get one 50% off. PicoSure or IPL. Make your appointment and get scheduled at Bella Medica. We're located in Kirkland, and you can contact us by calling 844-744-4844 or bellamedica.com.
I dare not sing, so I'll just listen.
Yes, I watched White Christmas already this year. It's the one that I do my Christmas wrapping to, and I'm not even close to being done because I start and then I get into the movie. I know what's going to happen. I've seen this
you
every
mean
year.
you don't use the bags? I use bags.
Yes,
I have wrapping paper, but
I do that too.
I buy wrapping paper every year too.
Yes, if it's not square, it's going in a bag. Oh, but that's my movie is White Christmas. So we're so glad you've tuned in today. Thank you. This is Leading Edge Medicine. My name is Lynette. I am here with two wonderful doctors today, and we're taking your calls. We have Dr. Samira Umat and Dr. Nathaniel Armstrong. If you'd like to get in touch, if you've got a question about maybe that new GLP-1 that your doctor put you on, maybe weight loss, longevity, hormones, anything that Dr. Umat was talking about, give us a call. We'd love to chat with you as we go into this new year. 1-800-465-8770.
You know, before we get into the medical topic, I do have to say, wasn't that an exciting Seahawks game on Thursday? Oh my gosh, for all of you that saw it, and when at the fourth quarter, when there were 8 minutes left to the game, I was literally ready to leave. I thought this game was done.
And people did.
And people did.
And then they missed the most exciting.
I know. I told my husband, put it on mute. I need to talk to you. This is boring. We're going to lose. Change the channel. And then he goes, no, wait. And oh my God, how did that happen? That 2-point conversion. How is that ever real? I've never seen anything like that in my life. The guy picks up the ball and we get 2 points. It's like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
Talk about giving you a heart attack.
Okay, so since you are the sports commentator of Leading Edge Medicine, what does that mean for the Seahawks next, Dr. Umat?
I don't know what it means.
You don't. I know
We're
it's
in the
good.
playoffs. We are first in the playoffs. Yes.
Okay.
And so now we have 2 more games, and I think then I don't know what.
Okay. All
but
right.
you know, the Rams were predicted that the Rams would win. What did they say? We had a 3% chance going into this game that we would make it, or at some point, and then the odds in the fourth quarter turned to 48% that we were going to win. It was like insane game.
There you go. Oh, but they won, so a lot of happy Seahawks folks so far.
Yes, go Hawks.
Okay. Woo. All right. Well, let's talk medical news here. And maybe, Dr. Armstrong, you could talk about some of the things that Dr. Umat was addressing and go a little bit deeper.
Football?
Football. Or maybe the muscle that is lost.
The football players?
Yeah. I'm good with that. But, you know, our boss, well, he's in Spain right now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Dr. Mixon is in Spain. So we could talk about No. I like my job. I love my job. I want to stay here.
Well, it is a really important topic, like what Dr. Umat brought up. And we always talk about weight loss.
Yes.
And there's no doubt the GLP-1s are very effective for weight loss. But it's important to qualify that, because when we say weight loss, what we want is fat loss.
Right.
And what we do not want is muscle loss.
Yeah.
And what the GLP-1s do is weight loss, which means both. So people are losing both fat and muscle unless there's a deliberate program done along with it. So it's very hard to do on your own, to just start. It's easy enough to start taking a medication. But the next level of how you do that, really, it requires guidance, right?
Yeah.
So what we do at Longevity Medical Clinic is we get an in-body, and we do that from day one. Even on the introductory visit, when you come in for the health analysis visit, which is complimentary, we'll give you the in-body. And of course, you could get on any scale and you could get your body weight. But with the in-body, it's such a fantastic tool because then we're breaking down how much muscle do you have? How well hydrated are you? And how much fat is on your body? And now, just like Dr. Umat was saying, that gives us very specific goals that we can work towards. And we can even look, where is the muscle and fat distributed on your body? Are you working those legs, right? Because the legs actually have the greatest potential for muscle on our frame.
Yeah.
And it's so common that I'll see the legs will actually be deficient relative to the upper body. But whatever the case may be, in terms of where somebody lands with that muscle mass, the rule of thumb is more is better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like, right? So just like Dr. Umat was saying, like the more muscle we have,
we're
more functional day
Right.
to day. We have a better quality of life.
Yeah.
And people say like, I don't want to be a bodybuilder. It's like, you don't have to.
Right.
That's perfectly fine, but you want to be healthy.
Right.
Yes.
You
Right.
want healthy body composition relative to your height and age. And it's so common that muscle's going to decline as we get older.
Yeah.
Then you add the GLP-1, now you're losing more muscle. So that's a pretty serious thing. And we also know, even beyond quality of life, more muscle mass, more exercise increases BDNF. So you're actually, the more muscle you have, the better you are at repairing your brain.
Yeah.
And we know that more muscle mass correlates with longevity itself. People who have more muscle live longer.
Yeah.
And have fewer heart attacks and strokes and fewer rates of dementia at the same
Right.
time.
Remember, aging is the number one cause of disease. Okay. And it's sad that aging itself is not considered a disease, but I think there are many people that are trying to change that. And in age management health, in longevity health, I think there is a movement to call these GLP-1 medications possibly longevity medications. Whatever the outcome of that discussion may be, the point is that we need help as we get older. That muscle is important to maintain, but we all tend to lose muscle as part of normal aging. And when you maintain your muscle mass, you maintain the likelihood of remaining healthier. So when we talk about squaring of that longevity curve, that muscle will help you remain healthier. Now, these medications are not risk-free. They're expensive and they're not available all the time. And so we are aware of that, and not everybody should be prescribing these medications. You should know where you're getting them from and who is providing them to you. As you know, I'm not opposed to compounding pharmacies. I think they are very good, but you must know who your compounding pharmacist is. Are they certified or not? Because that data is important. That makes a huge difference. There is less federal oversight over here, but you want to make sure that they are also being regulated by a body, and the product you are paying for will do what it is supposed to do for you. And so the GLP-1 medications, as popular as they have become, carry a huge side effect profile. And I have seen many of those side effects in our patients. But it is our job as providers first to remind them that there can be a potential cause, a problem, but then how to overcome that problem as well. And so we do train our doctors, and our doctors train you in how to be successful in using them. And so when you hear about microdosing and you hear, you know, that the actors in Hollywood are using microdosing, and you come and go, well, why can't I do that? Well, there are lots of reasons. I've had calls from my patients saying, well, how come you didn't tell me I could use this too? Well, you have to weigh the pros and cons for each individual, and that's
Always.
our job as your provider. Remember, we look at your history and make sure it is safe for you to do that. It's always what we're looking at, weighing the benefit and risk ratio for you. And I think ultimately our job is to inform you as patients so that you can make an informed decision for yourself. And I respect that, whatever that decision may be, but our job is to help you along the way. And
Absolutely.
so as you go into the holidays, as you go into more food and a lot of temptations and those moments of weakness, know that we can be there to support you through that, right? I've used chromium very successfully in my patients where it just kind of takes the edge off and the desire for sweets. In the winter holidays, as you go into the Christmas holidays, Dr. Nathaniel gave us a presentation on milk thistle. I learned a lot more about it than I knew, but it is something that I have given my patients more generously during the holidays, simply because I know that everybody will be consuming more alcohol. And so when they come back for their next labs, I just don't want the liver enzymes elevated.
There you go.
So, you plan and you stack the odds in your favor. And that's what we do for you. We blend what we know. And when we know you for so long, we can almost literally predict. And you know what? I have been seeing so many people this quarter that are building more muscle. And I go, I don't know how I did that. And I go, well, we talked about creatine monohydrate. Did you start using it? Yeah, I've been using it. You told me to. Okay, well, this is a surprise. So it's good to see the results of 3-4 months of work, and then our body composition is now showing that data. We're looking at kidney function. So many things. I just love it. Can I just say that? I
Yes,
just love
you
every
can.
part of it.
I
I
love
just
it too.
enjoy every part of it. It's food for my soul, I think.
Yeah, beautiful.
Very good. Oop, I hear some music. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be back and we can take your calls. Phone lines are open. Here's the number. We are live in the studio this week. Next week, nope, we're all going to be with our families
this
for
is
Christmas.
our last live show of 2025.
That's right. So call with your questions. If you're a little shy, it's okay. You can use a different name. It's all right. 1-800-465-8770. That's 1-800-465-8770. Get into that call queue and we'll get right to you with your questions about your health as you're aging. We'll be right back. This is Leading Edge Medicine.
Aging gracefully is a terrible option. Learn to live to your fullest potential. It's a lot more fun. Call now with your questions at 1-800-465-8770. That's 1-800-465-8770. And stay tuned for more of the show.
Have you been struggling to shed extra pounds? Having a partner on your weight loss journey can make all the difference. That's why at Longevity Medical Clinic, we're excited to launch our weight management program, working hand in hand with you to achieve your weight and health goals. What makes our program different? It's a medical weight management program that uses advanced science to develop your customized prescription, nutrition, and fitness plan. You're under doctor supervision every step of the way. It's our goal to help you look and feel your best now and for years to come. One important thing to know is that our new weight management program will be open to everyone, not just our longevity patients. Call us at 866-869-6864 to schedule your consultation today. That's 866-869-6864.
Are you happy with how you're feeling these days? Are you slowing down physically or mentally? Ever wonder what your life will be like 10 to 15 years from now? Most of us don't really know how we're aging or if we can even do anything about it. But here's the truth. Knowledge is power, and that's exactly where we start at Longevity Medical Clinic. We run advanced diagnostics to find out what's really going on inside your body, and then we create a personalized hormone and health optimization plan designed specifically to help you live better starting now. Our patients are often amazed by what they discover in their blood work, and even more amazed at how quickly they start to feel like themselves again. This isn't guesswork, it's science, it's personal, and it works. Take the first step today. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com to schedule your free consultation. Longevity Medical Clinic. Feel better today and every day after that.
Oh, so beautiful. All these songs just take you back, right? Yeah, just the ease of Christmas. I like the more soft songs like this for Christmas as opposed to the chaotic.
I like all of it.
Yeah.
I like all of it.
You love it all.
My Christmas list goes from classical to, if you've ever heard, there's a group called Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yes, I love anything
which does like heavy
Trans-Siberian.
metal, but
Yes.
like an orchestra, and they do, yes. They're just the most epic Christmas music. So I have that. I got Frank Sinatra. We got the Grinch. We got the whole thing. You
We
know,
got
just-
Mariah Carey.
that one song, All I Want for Christmas. That's in the mix.
Yes,
That
it's
is
made
right. You
the
gotta have that
records
one.
again. The top selling Christmas song.
Yes. Trans-Siberian, though, just incredible. And have you ever seen them live yet, Dr. Armstrong?
Oh, that would be.
I have
blast,
not.
I'm
They
sure.
are on my bucket list. They
Yeah.
always seem to be the day after Thanksgiving
Oh, okay.
in the
Really?
Seattle area.
Oh, okay.
And I got to do it. I've heard it's absolutely incredible.
We
So-
did go to the Nutcracker. We go and see the Nutcracker
good.
every year on Whidbey Island. There's
Oh,
the Whidbey Island Dance Company.
Cute.
And their biggest production every year is the
Nice.
Nutcracker. They do an amazing job. It's beautiful.
Oh, how nice.
You get everything from like the little 4-year-old ballerinas to the ones who are about
yeah.
to like go serious
So
with their
sweet.
career with it and like the whole
Yes.
thing. It's just precious. My
Yeah.
kids love it.
I used to do that too as a tradition for the kids. And then when we moved to Seattle and the Pacific Northwest Ballet, we went a few times.
Oh,
But
yeah.
man, it's spendy. It's
Yes.
expensive.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. Yeah. I love traditions like that. I think kids remember that.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing you should, many people know this, but that I learned was, having ornaments that are keepsakes if you do a tree and if you keep an ornament, but having people write for you on them.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that.
So I have keepsakes, that elders in our family have written for us that are now memories.
Aw.
and they're
and-
probably dated with the year
Every
that
year,
they wrote.
every year, December 25th, whatever year it was.
Yeah.
And so we read those as we hang them
Yeah,
on the
that's
tree.
beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
so special.
So that reminds you of people. So
Yeah.
I learned
Very
that
nice.
from somebody, and I've actually cherished that. And so this year, when I gave some ornaments out, the girls asked me to write for them on there. So I was touched.
Aw. Did you use your pretty Samira handwriting or your doctor prescription?
Okay, listen.
Scribble.
This was with a black thick marker on a very small ornament.
You did your
They were
best.
able to, I did the best.
My kids always had a kid tree. They always wanted to decorate the tree. We had
Yeah.
the family tree where we would put the mementos
Right.
but when they wanted to make ornaments or they made ornaments from school, or one year, McDonald's had the cutest Happy Meal toys that were from Disneyland. And I glued bows on top with loops so that they could use those. I still have them.
Yeah.
From 1995, and now my kids recognize them, and now the grandkids. So this year I've got just memories loaded on the tree, and it's like,
Right.
I love that when you look at it and go, oh, I remember when I got that. or
I know,
that
right?
year.
You collect them, and as I say, the days seem long, but the years really fly by.
Yes.
And so when you go back and you look at that, you go, oh my gosh, 2010, 2012?
Yes.
Well, where were we?
Where
Who
were we?
did? And you go back in time, and then you remember. So there's an association with them. They are priceless to me, but they're worthless to anybody else.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
But to you, they are, some good, some, sad. Obviously, life throws you punch balls and you deal with it. But you create whatever you want to create out of it, is what I'm saying.
That's right. You make it.
Yeah.
Yes, you choose to
Yeah.
have the good memories. Doctors, you ready for a phone call?
Sure. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
We're headed not too far away. We're going to Redmond this morning. We have Michelle on the line. Hi, Michelle.
Hello, Michelle.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. I have a specific question, specifically for menopausal women, let's say late 50s. Is it possible to achieve optimal, as close to ideal ratio of estrogens, specifically E2 and E1. And is a supplement called DIM, helpful in that? And what would be that ratio? I thought it was 2-to-1, E2 to E1, but I'm not. Anyway, I'm personally struggling with that, despite supplementing with creams and whatever else. So I'm just wondering what is reasonable to expect.
Sure. Yeah. That's a great question, and thank you for asking that. A colleague of mine did share with me that menopause was being talked about in the news this week, and that I would maybe get a question on that. So thank you for asking me that question. Love menopausal questions. Love to take care of my women. It's something that comes from the heart, and I think it's something that every provider should know how to do. You're asking very important questions. So let's unpack menopause a little bit. So menopause is defined when a woman stops having a menstrual period for 12 months, 12 consecutive months. So if you've gone for 11 months, you haven't had a period, and you have small bleeding in month 11, you're still not menopausal. You have to have 12 consecutive months. Basically, it indicates that the ovaries are no longer able to function and you are not able to reproduce anymore. Okay. That said, the symptoms associated with ovarian dysfunction or eventual ovarian failure begin in some women in their 30s. And estrogen used to be considered the predominant hormone in women. Now we know that testosterone is the predominant hormone in women. The units are counted differently. Yes, women have much less testosterone than men, but they have more testosterone than estrogen. And there is no FDA guidelines in testosterone replacement in women. That is not right, because that hormone performs a lot of function for women. So what do we replace? Traditional medicine replaces estrogen. If you're lucky, you might get some balance with progesterone. But we in our clinic balance all three of them for you, because we know that they are important for function: breast cancer risk reduction, cognitive health, muscle mass. We've been talking about muscle all day today. Muscle, muscle, muscle. It is the currency of aging. If you want to age well, you need to support your musculoskeletal system. And yes, estrogen will do that, but testosterone is an important and integral part of that, where one lays down bone, the other one helps reduce resorption of bone. So both are very critical in your health and wellness. What you're talking about is actually very important. It is describing the different types of estrogens in your body. E1, or estrone, is the predominant estrogen in postmenopausal women, but it is not an easy one to measure. So we don't measure it routinely. Estradiol is an important one for bone and brain. So most of us replace estradiol. However, when it metabolites into the 4-alpha hydroxy metabolite version, and when that is high, the risk for breast cancer is high in that patient. So we measure for that in urine testing. And then finally, estriol, a very abundant hormone, and one that is also not easy to measure in a non-pregnant woman. In pregnancy, the estriol level rises and we can measure it easily. So when you ask about estrone E1 and estradiol E2 and the ratios of that, I'm not sure how you're measuring estrone, because it's very difficult to measure that in blood, and we measure blood. Maybe saliva can tell you that level, so you're looking at saliva. I find that saliva, I know there are labs that do it, and I've been introduced to them for a very long time, but I've always found it difficult to understand how they are, accounting for it. David Zava used to say, he's one of the owners of the lab company, and in his talks he used to say you account for what the patient is using and then you adjust for the values, and I never really understood that. My goal at the end of the day is what is serum level, because it's serum that is going to give the patient the function of the hormone. So I go for serum, we test blood. The only saliva test that we do is for cortisol levels. Salivary cortisol levels are critical. And that too, we measure 4 different times in a day. So we have an idea of what is happening to the natural rhythm and the natural curve. So to answer your question, I don't know how to measure estrone in blood. Saliva is possibly the only way to measure it.
Or urine.
But urine testing all the time is difficult. So 24-hour urine testing is hard. You can do spot urine testing, but estrone measurement, yes, we do get the results in urine, but blood is easier. And then when we use traditional, over-the-counter FDA-approved drugs, they're just estradiol patches. And then if you use a compounding pharmacy, what was popularized was a biestrogen combination, that is estradiol and estriol, E2E3 combination in a 2-to-8 ratio. And so that's what we use for safety. And then we measure total estrogens with that. We will do urine testing in women that are at risk for breast cancer. And we look at their metabolites, the 2-hydroxy, the 2-methoxy, the 4-hydroxy, and the 4-methoxy metabolites, because they then give us an idea of whether that patient is at a higher risk for breast cancer or not.
So what would be reasonable level? What would be a reasonable level of estradiol? What would be good for a menopausal woman to have in serum?
In serum, yeah. So for us, we look at a range of 40 to 100 nanograms per deciliter, and then I also look at yes, and then I also pay very close attention to my patient's FSH level, because that's a negative feedback loop. So if the FSH is rising and my estradiol level, then I adjust it. I may go even higher for that patient if I have to. If my patient is younger, she may need a little bit more support from estradiol. So where the guideline is 40 to 100 in our lab, I may adjust it and go higher for her. And for some older women, I may stay a little bit lower. But the FSH will help me in deciding that.
And in conjunction with symptoms.
And
yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. And what is ideal for a 25-year-old woman? Just estradiol and testosterone. What would be ideal? What are they at?
So that's I'm going to have to interrupt. Okay. And let's take a quick break here, doctors, because I love talking about the hormones. Michelle, you hang on the line. Doctors are going to stay here because I don't want them to go anywhere. We'll take a quick break, and we will be right back to talk about hormones, the importance of hormones in menopause. Here's that number to get through today, 1-800-465-8770. With any questions you may have, 1-800-465-8770. We'll be right back.
Leading Edge Medicine. Leading Edge Medicine. Listen to past programs by going to lmclinic.com. Call in now at 1-800-465-8770. That's 1-800-465-8770. At Longevity Medical Clinic, we're always looking for ways to better support your health journey. That's why we're excited to share that Longevity Development, our business and marketing arm, has entered a new management relationship with Paramount Pharmacy. We can't tell you where to fill your compounded prescriptions. That's entirely your choice. But for years, we've confidently recommended Paramount Pharmacy because of their excellent quality control, competitive pricing, and outstanding customer service. And now with this closer collaboration, we're working side by side to make your healthcare experience even better. To celebrate, Paramount Pharmacy is offering a 30% discount on your first 90-day supply of compounded medication for all new patients. Interested? Just call Paramount at 425-251-1660. That's 425-251-1660. Paramount Pharmacy and Longevity Medical Clinic, a team approach to better healthcare.
Are you ready to get rid of your reading glasses? Or maybe as you're getting older, and we all are, you just want your vision to be the best it can be. It's time to look into refractive lens exchange at Northwest Vision Institute with Dr. Michael Gilbert. RLE is performed in the same process as cataract surgery. The natural lens is removed and replaced with a high-tech intraocular lens implant. Basically, what that means is your vision will be crystal clear, you'll be able to see far away or up close or both. The difference is incredible. Imagine. No more contact lenses. No more searching for the reading glasses. Most likely, these will be the last lenses you will ever need. Areli is just one of the services offered at Northwest Vision Institute. Come in and see Dr. Michael Gilbert and his team at Northwest Vision Institute. Call 425-450-2020 or online nwvision.com.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What fun it is to ride in a
Michael
one-horse
Bublé,
open
yeah.
sleigh.
Yeah.
He's on that Christmas list of mine as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael
Great
Bublé.
voice,
Just
yeah.
love him. When he was, let's see, I guess it was the Taylor Swift concert recently. My daughter was sitting right next to him. And he was so kind to take a picture with my daughter for her mom. And it really was for her mom. He was like, he was in a baseball hat and he had his whole family.
Really?
Oh, yes. He lives in Vancouver. So that is, he's often there. Wow.
Nice.
You're listening to Leading Edge Medicine. We're remembering as we listen to the Christmas music. I hope you're enjoying our little spurts of that on the show today. Let me give you the phone number to call just like Michelle did. 1-800-465-8770 to get in. Phone lines are open just for you right now. We're talking about those hormones with Michelle in Redmond, and she was asking about it like a 25-year-old. Thank you for holding, Michelle. Go ahead and re-ask your question, Michelle.
Yeah, so just a couple of additional questions. I would like to know what is the levels of E2 estradiol at a 25-year-old, and what is the testosterone range for the 25-year-old, and then what is a reasonable range to expect if you're supplementing, what is reasonable to achieve for a menopausal woman, late 50s, 60s.
Sure,
or
great
E2
question.
and testosterone. That's all I need to know.
I think, Michelle, what you
is
should
reasonable,
do.
right?
Yeah, Michelle, my suggestion is you come and see us in the clinic so that we can talk about these issues. This is something the doctors would love to discuss with you. But let's talk about it on air a little bit. So the thing here is you're asking about a young woman who is experiencing normal cycles and she's menstruating regularly. And so with that, you know that her levels are going to fluctuate. So say a normal cycle is a 28-day cycle, a traditional one, then in that 28-day cycle, her levels of hormones are going to fluctuate a lot. So she'll begin with day one of the cycle as having the lowest amount of hormones because that's when she's bleeding and she's shedding the lining of the endometrium. So that's the first day of her cycle. And with that, her estrogen and progesterone levels are going to be low. She will then experience an increase in estrogen first, progesterone lagging behind a little bit, going up to mid-cycle. So day 10 to 12 will be her peak of estradiol. Day 14 to 16 will be
day 12.
Yeah, that'll be her peak of estradiol. And then that level will fall as she goes into the next phase of her cycle, the second half of her cycle. And around day 25 is when her progesterone will peak, and then that will fall too. And as progesterone drops, she will then experience her bleeding because of lack of progesterone, and then the cycle will begin again. With testosterone, we experience mostly steady state levels throughout the cycle. There is a small increase around day 12. So you see the little blip around day 12. That's to improve her libido. She's, primed to get pregnant around that time of her cycle. And so if a pregnancy is going to happen, it is going to happen between those 2 days, 12 to 14 in a 28-day cycle. So the levels in a 25-year-old woman will go higher than 200, 300, and then in pregnancy, they will go much higher. But where they are, there's a huge range, and some women will stay lower than that, and some women will go higher than that. And a lot of times it's not the absolute value, but it is the ratio between her estrogen and progesterone that is more important. So it's really hard. It's like when we talk about hormone levels in a woman and balancing her hormones, it's like literally trying to needle a piece of hair or something. So it's like throwing darts, so it's not an easy thing to do, but knowing your patient and then listening to her symptoms and knowing her labs is very important. So when you go to a doctor and they say to you, well, I know what the hormone levels are going to be, or they're standard and I don't need to measure them, I think that's wrong. That's actually not helpful. In fact, I think that we should have a CGM, like a continuous estrogen monitor for women that will give us estrogen levels like we do for sugar. So in order to help women and be precise in what we need to give them, I think our technology needs to advance quite a bit more. And I am hearing that people are working on these issues. So it's hard to say that, but my suggestion to you, if you're really looking for those guidelines, is to become a patient, because we care and we can help you. Okay?
And we spend the time with our patients. We get hour-long visits with our patients to really get into this. We're very thorough with our blood work, but then it's also when we sit down face to face and it's like the number is important, but it's not the whole story. So if I was only prescribing based on blood work, I'd be missing out on this person's actual quality of life. And that's very important. So we have the time to do that. And then we look at the hormones in conjunction with a great deal of other blood work. And there's an interplay there because we know that hormones affect things like inflammation and, these other blood markers to a degree, and even the thyroid, right, where there's the interplay between estrogen and testosterone and thyroid health. And so we look at this very comprehensive picture. We have an hour-long visit, and we enjoy it. You can tell from Dr. Umat talking about all of these different nuances with this therapy. And I always say, honestly, I believe we're the best game in town at this. So truly, if you have questions like this, Dr. Umat's 100% right. Come on into the clinic.
Yeah.
For sure. Quick question. Do you have any success? Do you use supplement DIM with any success, effectiveness with your patients, DIM?
For DIM, absolutely, really? Yes. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. So DIM, for the listeners, is dihydroxyindole methane. It helps in the metabolism of estrogen and makes it safe for women to use estrogen. And yes, we use it a lot. We also use it in men with prostate health.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
You are very welcome.
Right,
Thank you for asking very detailed questions. Very important point. So good luck to you. Yes.
Thank you. And we've got some more callers on the line. Before we get to this top of the hour, we have about 3 more minutes. Dr. Armstrong, why don't you talk a little bit more about what our health analysis does and how longevity can help someone just like Michelle?
My pleasure. So when you come in for the health analysis visit, you get to meet our friendly staff. So we have 3 clinic locations. We have a brand new clinic in Tacoma. They just moved into a bright and shiny, beautiful new clinic. We have our Linwood location and we have our Kirkland location. So whatever's closest to you. We have great staff. We have great doctors at all 3 of our locations. And that health analysis visit, we give you 2 things. We give you the in-body, and that goes back to what we were talking before, height versus muscle versus fat. You can get it on any scale. You can get your weight, but we want to know how much of that is fat, how much of that is muscle, and that guides our goals for you. And then we can get into the conversation with diet and exercise for you specifically because everybody's needs are different. So we get that in body, and then we get the hemoglobin A1C. This is a finger stick. We get a hemoglobin A1C, which reflects the average blood sugar over the past 3 months. And the hemoglobin A1C is tremendously important because blood sugar impacts so much else. And type 2 diabetes, begins with pre-diabetes, begins with insulin resistance. This is all related to obesity, inflammation, overall decline of health, cognitive function. The blood sugar is tremendously important. So just thinking about those 2 tests alone, we've already said how impactful that is over several areas of your health. And so we'll have a few minutes to go over those results with you, and then we can talk about your goals and where you want to go and how we can help you with your personal health goals.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the health analysis visit is, as you said, a complimentary visit to come in the door. But really, for everybody that walks in through our door, I think mentally you should be prepared to spend $595 that day, because that is where the rubber hits the road. That data is critical in us helping you achieve your goals. And so the complimentary visit is just for you to meet the doctor, for you to meet the team, for you to get an idea of what your body composition is and whether you're at risk or not. But the meat of the matter comes from that first lab review. And for that, it's $595. And you get a wealth of information. Not only do you get at least an hour, if not longer, of physician time, your doctor has looked at your labs before you even walk in the door, and they have come up with a treatment thought and plan because they know about your history from the data, from the information that you have given us. So as valuable as a complimentary visit is, I think your mindset should be, I'm going to invest in me.
Yes.
Because today we can help you be better tomorrow more than ever before. And my message to you is just don't die. Plan to live your best life ever. And we are your partners in that.
Absolutely.
And it's worth mentioning too, with that $595, with that blood work, it goes well beyond the normal standard of care in terms of medicine. Most doctors aren't even looking at hormones. They're just assuming you're getting older and they're falling off and they're not going to do anything about it. We look at all the hormones and we look at very thorough blood work well beyond the normal standard of care. And then, like we said, we get that full hour-long visit included in that same $595 cost.
Yeah, when we come back, you can talk more about the labs.
Oh, yes. And we will be back in just a moment. I do want to give you that number so that you can make your appointment at Longevity Medical Clinics. You can find one near you, Kirkland, Tacoma, or in Linwood. Here's the number. It's 866-86-YOUNG. That's easy to remember. 866-86-YOUNG. Or go online to lmclinic.com. We're going to take our quick break and we'll be back with more phone calls. We've got 3 on the line right now. Stay right there.
Seattle Red on 770 KTTH Seattle, 97.3 KIRO FM, HD3 Tacoma Seattle, 94.5 K233 DT Eastlake, 33 BU Seattle.
The following is a paid program on this station.
Welcome back to this second hour of Leading Edge Medicine. Leading Edge Medicine provides only general medical information. Since everyone's individual situation is unique, you should consult your own physician before taking any action related to your personal health. All content of this program is intended for general informational purposes only. Good morning and welcome to Leading Edge Medicine with Dr. Jerry Mixon and Dr. Samira Umat. Leading Edge Medicine is sponsored by Longevity Medical Clinics and is devoted to helping you feel and function better tomorrow than you do today by providing the newest and most advanced medical care designed to improve both your body and your brain. Leading Edge Medicine will keep you informed regarding the very latest developments in science and medicine while highlighting some of the Northwest's most prominent physicians, all while helping you separate the science from the silly and the facts from the fiction. This is live call-in radio at its very best, giving you the opportunity to participate in the show. Now, here are your hosts for Leading Edge Medicine, Dr. Jerry Mixon and Dr. Samira Umat, along with their co-host, Lynette Morgan.
And Dr. Mixon is off today. He is enjoying some time with his family in Spain for Christmas. So he's enjoying the Christmas markets, is what he said they would be enjoying right before Christmas. We have Dr. Samira Umat in the studio, as well as Dr. Nathaniel Armstrong answering your questions. Right now, we're talking about hormones, and we've got callers on the line that will probably want to talk more about that, too. Were you going to finish up a point there, Dr. Armstrong or Dr. Umat?
No, I was just saying that, where Nathaniel discussed the lab testing that we do and how extensive it is.
Yes.
Maybe we can talk about it at some point.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Let's get some calls.
Yeah, okay.
Very good. We're going to take some calls. We are headed over to Linwood. Michael on the line. Welcome, Michael, to Leading Edge Medicine.
Hello, Michael.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question. I have a question about our artificial sweeteners in protein drinks. And so I see a lot of the protein drinks are loaded with all manner of artificial sweeteners so that you'll drink them. But is there any long-term hazards of artificial sweeteners, and do they increase your blood sugar?
Oh, good question. So, yes, artificial sweeteners are just that. They basically give you the taste of sugar, but they don't really increase sugar levels, but they are harmful for you. And so over the long haul, we actually have been telling our patients not to use artificial sweeteners. They are just not good for you. So if when you look at a protein drink or even
Anything, diet
electrolyte,
soda.
electrolyte powders.
There's a lot of artificial sweeteners in these electrolytes.
Yes. Do read the ingredient list carefully, because they're not all equal. And some of them are actually harmful. So the ones that I look for, actually, maybe Nathaniel, you might know, I look for things that are more like monk fruit. People ask about that too. But I've been telling people, when you abstain from sugar for a while, you actually develop a taste to enjoy food without sugar. It takes time. You have to do it for at least 3 weeks to be successful in that mission. And then sugar tastes too sweet for you. I think we use too much sugar anyways. But what I tell everybody is, if you're really going to have sugar, then just add a little honey. And that's what I do for my when I really need something sweet, and sometimes everybody does, I'll just use a little bit of honey, not sucralose.
Yeah, it turns out organic maple syrup, in the same context, just a little bit here and there. Organic maple syrup actually is much better way to go. Certainly than cane sugar or artificial sweeteners or beet sugar, or genetically modified beets, pumping sugar out of these things, or genetically modified corn and the high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
So the sweeteners, it is a worthwhile conversation to have. So you can almost think of it like a spectrum, right? It's like on the worst end is like genetically modified corn processed into high fructose corn syrup. Is like, get it away from me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, a little bit better is going to be, just because you're getting away from some of the horrifying things, is like cane sugar, but that's not good. We know that's going to be increasing blood sugar. And, we're always talking about diabetes and insulin resistance and so forth. And then getting better yet, right, is going to be like the honey, the maple syrup. Organic is always better, because then there was less pesticides going into it that are then going into you and stuff like that. And then some really interesting ones is like the monk fruit, because it's looking quite promising in terms of the research that we do have on monk fruit. There's almost like very little downside in terms of how it's metabolized in the body. And allulose is another really interesting one, which it actually does taste just like normal sugar, but it's not absorbed. And so it's looking very promising there as well. And what I actually saw was quite interesting was like a mild, actually GLP-1 effect even.
With allulose. Interesting.
So that's pretty interesting.
GLP is natural, right?
Your body makes it?
We just don't make enough of it, or we're not sensitive,
and has
we
a very short
override
half-life in the natural production in the body.
And we override it by compensating. But the other one that's an artificial sweetener is dates. Dates are used. A lot of people, we use that in their baking and in their cooking also at home, because
I
they
wouldn't
also
call it an artificial sweetener.
It's not. It's a natural sweetener, but it's a good sweetener.
Yes,
is what I'm
it's
saying.
good. It's good. It's fast. It's funny you mentioned date, because I was going to mention this too. Because if you eat a date, it tastes like you're eating pure sugar. So you wouldn't think it could be good, but there is data. We actually even do have studies on dates actually improving blood sugar levels in folks. And same with honey, or especially organic, local honey. You're getting a lot of benefits with that. And I poured over all the studies I could find one day on honey. And every single study was actually either positive or neutral. In terms of body composition, obesity, blood sugar, cholesterol, inflammation, all these things that we're very concerned about. The honey was either doing good or essentially had no effect.
I like honey. I buy locally sourced honey. And then the other thing is, you mentioned maple syrup. That too, I'm partial to. So
it's so
both,
good.
one or the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost always drink black coffee. Every once in a while, I put a little maple syrup in the coffee, which I never heard of anybody else doing, and it's really good.
Yeah, and I
really
put
liked
honey in mine now. And I started a few months ago. I have to stop.
Oh, no.
Moderation.
There you go. Oh, Michael, is that helpful for you?
Let's mention two more things.
Oh, yes.
Stevia is a common question. Not everybody likes it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a little bit of mixed data on
There
stevia.
There is. Yeah. What I've always told everybody is if you're going to need one, then stevia is probably the best of the worst. So use that.
Stevia is an herb.
Yeah.
And I did see some studies initially looking at actually blood sugar, and it looked like no downside and possibly even beneficial in terms of actually blood sugar effects, things like this. Obviously, I mean, stevia is way better, again, than doing like full-on artificial sweeteners, which are bad for the brain. And there was some really interesting studies, like just looking at soda pop and obesity. And everybody, placebo control group, diet soda group,
yes,
and so-called normal soda group with the high fructose corn syrup, everybody, cutting out diet soda led to just as much weight loss as cutting out sugary soda. So they're both bad for metabolic health and for brain health. And it's a great point Dr. Umat mentioned too, because there's all these different options on sweeteners, but your taste will change. If you get to where you adapt to like fruit being one of the sweetest things in your diet, you will start to love the taste of that fruit. And once again, if it's local and organic, it's even better. And then erythritol. Let's mention erythritol. This is what we call a sugar alcohol. Like certain gums actually do have some of these sugar alcohol, but erythritol in particular, it tricks the bacteria in your mouth and in your body. So it actually does prevent cavities because the bacteria think it's sugar and they'll take it in, but they get no nutritional, but the bacteria that feed on sugar, right? They actually get no fuel from the erythritol. So it actually does kill the germs that cause cavities, the erythritol. There's much less of a downside in terms of these sugar alcohols, which are technically different than the artificial sweeteners. So for many years, in terms of all the data we had, they looked quite neutral. There was a relatively recent study with sugar alcohols, and I think erythritol in particular had actually some effect on blood clotting, which wasn't looking so good. I think that was a pretty preliminary study, so we're not going to hang our hat on that, but maybe something to be aware of with that one.
With trying to decrease the sugar intake, there was an author that wrote this book about taking her family on a journey of no sugar for 1 year. And she said initially it was difficult for her two daughters and her husband to adapt to that, but they adapted. And then they allowed themselves 4 indulgences. For everybody's birthday, they would have cake. And she said by the time the year progressed, that regular cake tasted so sweet and sugary, they actually didn't enjoy it anymore. And she wrote about her experience in that year, and her biggest comment that I took away was that she noticed the family's incidence of illnesses, especially viral illnesses, was decreased, sinus disease was decreased, and the time lost from school was diminished because they were eating less sugar. Very interesting.
I completely believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have studies too. We can look at, actually, you can even look at white blood cells under a microscope, and that's your immune system. That's what's targeting, pathogens and germ infections and so forth. When they give them sugar, their activity just completely falls off, and they look drunk and they don't do their job. They don't do anything.
Right. And so to answer your question, where yes, the pendulum has swung in that protein is king these days, we're all recommending high protein intake, and it's for muscle because the focus is on good muscle health. You do have to be careful where your protein is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Is that helpful for you, Michael?
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm sure the other viewers do, or the listeners do as well.
Thank you, Michael. All the best.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much. We're headed to another place to get another phone call. This time, Sandra is on the line.
Hello, Sandra.
Hello. I have a problem with ordering online. I ordered the DHEA. I've been 11 days without it. And I never, it would have been longer than that because when I reorder something, I never wait till I'm out of it. I always have some left. But I've been 11 days without it. And I don't know what to do.
I am so sorry to hear that, Sandra. If you want to leave your name and information with the engineer, maybe Monday I can have the team look at it. I know that during the holidays with Christmas, it was some shipments were delayed just because shipping was busy, but we are still working. Clinics are all open. Everything is going out on time. But if you leave your number and your name with the engineer, and I'll get it from Lynette, what I will do is have the team track what happened to your shipment to Monday morning, okay?
Okay, that would be great. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Good luck, okay? I hope they sort it out. I know they will on Monday, okay?
Oh, yes.
Yes, okay. So someone will come on the line to take that info from me?
We will have, you just stay on the line and don't hang up, and our producer is going to grab that from you right after that, okay? We're going to go to a break, but you stay on the line. All right, we are going to take a quick break right here. We'll be back with more Leading Edge Medicine, and we have room for you in our phone system, 1-800-465-8770. Our phone queue is ready for your questions with Dr. Umat and Dr. Armstrong. 1-800-465-8770.
Leading Edge Medicine. Leading Edge Medicine. Don't believe the lie that you have to fall apart at the normal rate, and see what your options really are at lmclinic.com. lmclinic.com. Stay tuned for more of the show.
If you have chronic pain and are considering stem cell therapy, consider the only doctor with over 30 years of experience with pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. And that's Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, with Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. Here's what a satisfied patient had to say.
I would say Dr. Nelson is a great guy. He's very personable, makes you feel very comfortable, as does the staff. Everything went well. I had the stem cell injections, and within a month, I really had a change in my knee. It was unbelievable to me, honestly. I thought there'd be more pain involved with the procedure, and there was hardly any. It was amazing, and I've told a lot of people about it. After having it for 2 years now, it worked tremendously. Glad I did it.
You should consider stem cell therapy, but call a medical doctor with experience. Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, 425-823-4000. That's 425-823-4000 or danielnelsonmd.com.
Oh, it's time to get ready for the holidays and the new year coming up at Bella Medica. We believe that you deserve to look and feel your very best. We're committed to providing you with the safest and most effective treatments available to make you look and feel your very best. Whether you're coming in for a facial, maybe some injectables, or perhaps using some of our laser treatments, Bella Medica has something for everyone. And this month, here are our specials, perfect for the upcoming holidays. Get party ready and schedule your PicoSure or IPL treatment all this month. It's a BOGO. Buy one, get one 50% off. PicoSure or IPL. Make your appointment and get scheduled at Bella Medica. We're located in Kirkland, and you can contact us by calling 844-744-4844 or bellamedica.com.
What if weight loss didn't feel like a lonely battle? What if you had a proven tool and a trusted guide by your side? At Longevity Medical Clinics, our medically supervised GLP-1 weight loss program helps you shed pounds, boost your metabolism, and feel more like yourself again. But unlike online programs that drop medication at your doorstep and disappear, we take the time to understand your body. We track your lab work, monitor your safety, and adjust your plan so that your results are healthy and lasting. Because weight loss isn't one size fits all, and you deserve a program designed for your unique biology. If you're serious about losing weight and you want to do it the right way, Longevity Medical Clinic is here to help. Call Longevity Medical Clinics today at 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com for your free health analysis. Longevity Medical Clinics, real medicine, real monitoring, real results. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com.
Oh, this is called Linus and Lucy from Vince Guaraldi. And I can just see him playing on the piano, and she's, just gazing at Schroeder.
Is it a Christmas song?
Yeah, it's on his Vince Guaraldi's album that has it's called A Charlie Brown Christmas, and it's all the music from that plus a few extra things that you would hear too.
Okay.
Oh. All right. We are going to take another phone call, this time headed to Seattle. And by the way, welcome back, Leading Edge Medicine. I'm Lynette, along with Dr. Nathaniel Armstrong in the studio today and Dr. Samira Umat. And we are just really excited to talk to you this week. We'll be off next week for Christmas. So if you've got a question, don't wait. 1-800-465-8770. Hi, Ellen. Thank you for calling Leading Edge Medicine.
Hello, Ellen.
Hello. Hello.
How can I help?
I go to your clinics, and I've been having some out of balance labs, two of them. The first one is HDL, and about 3 times ago it was 80. HDL was 83. Then about 4 months ago it was 96. And now in December, it's 119. And my little research I did shows that's not good.
Okay. And what is your total cholesterol and your LDL?
The LDL is 163. The total is, I know, too high, 292. And then my triglycerides are 47.
Okay. Do you want to tackle that?
So I would certainly think about diet and exercise. Have these things changed in recent months as these other numbers have been moving around? And let us ask you too, you mentioned, you gave us some of the most recent numbers, and you told us the HDL has been increasing. What have the other numbers done relative to, the past couple of lab?
What was the last part you said?
You told us how the HDL has moved over time. What did the other numbers do over these same time periods? The triglycerides, LDL.
My total cholesterol has gone up from last time. It was about 40 points lower. I've had a lot of medical issues, haven't been able to exercise hardly, and had some health procedures. And there's one other, my FSH is also way out of whack at 470. Now, not in December when I had labs, but the previous 3 months, the doctor thought I might have Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and she did a special test for that, but that came back negative. Yeah. So my thyroid isn't quite functioning well either.
Okay. So basically, Ellen, what the data is showing is what you know, that you have high cholesterol, okay? So you have hyperlipidemia, and cholesterol is a risk factor for heart disease. We look at different numbers of the cholesterol particle to determine how much you are at risk. So with the total cholesterol, we get a global idea, but when we break it down into the LDL particle, which is the low density lipoprotein, and the HDL, which is the high density lipoprotein, it helps us in risk profiling, okay? So, excuse me. Your LDL particles are more atherogenic, meaning that these particles will go through the lining of the endothelium, and in the blood vessel, they will bury themselves in this lining. And then here, they then make plaque for you. That plaque is modified by the HDL particles. So traditionally, HDL particles have been considered, quote unquote, the good cholesterol, okay? And what they do is they modify the plaque a little bit, but all of it depends upon how much of them you have and what their ratios are. Because when they're all high, they are dangerous. And previously, where people used to think that a very high HDL is protective, that's actually not true. There comes a certain point when the HDL is not as protective. But in your case, your bigger risk today, given the numbers that you're sharing with us, Ellen, is that you have high cholesterol, you have hyperlipidemia, and you're at risk for plaque formation. So the first thing I would do for you is try to understand what number of LDL particles you have, what is the size of those LDL particles, and the same for the HDL, and what are your ApoB particles. So I would do the Cleveland panel for you if you haven't done that already. And then the next question would be, what are you doing to lower your cholesterol? Are you taking any medications like statins?
I tried them before, and I had just severe muscle pain.
Fair enough. And so you do have other choices. In this conference that I went to, I was speaking to a cardiologist. He's a functional medicine cardiologist out of California. And he said something very interesting. He said in the last 2 years, as a cardiologist, he has not prescribed statins to a single patient to help improve their cholesterol. He got some backlash from the audience for that because we know that heart disease is the #1 killer in the United States, and we have to protect our patients. But he said that he's able to manage high cholesterol with other things. And lifestyle is a big role. So what you have to work with your longevity doctor is not just full diagnostic panel and maybe even adding the calcium score if you haven't done that already to see whether there is a high plaque burden or not, but then to use all strategies to help you lower your LDL and total cholesterol levels. Those levels are pretty high right now. And so if you do fall into the high risk category, then there are other drugs your doctor can use that will not cause you the muscle aches and pains. But you do have to see a cardiologist for that. They do go through insurance. They are expensive, but they work. They do the job. So the first thing is diagnosis, risk stratification, identifying completely how much you are at risk, and then management, okay?
Okay, so what I heard you say was one test is the Cleveland panel. Now,
That's correct.
Can my longevity doctor order that, or I go to my cardiologist?
Your longevity doctor can definitely order that. That'll begin your risk stratification, and it'll tell us how aggressive you need to be. And then, depending upon what those numbers are, I would also do, if you're not on a statin, I would definitely do a baseline calcium score for you now. Okay?
And will the cardiologist order that?
Your longevity doctor can order that too. That's just $100 study if insurance doesn't pay for it. So it's well worth doing. It's an X-ray, a CT scan actually, 5-minute CT scan looking at the blood supply to the heart. So all it looks at is all the blood vessels that supply the heart muscle. They look to see whether there is plaque burden in those muscles or not. The advantage of this test is that it'll find old calcified plaque, which is stable plaque. The disadvantage is it'll not find any new soft plaque. But then the Cleveland panel or the cardiac inflammatory panel will help in identifying that, okay? And then based on those two results, then your longevity doctor will either manage you with us or suggest that we bring in a cardiologist as well.
And your doctor will also talk about diet, nutrition, exercise. You said you had some health issues, why you were not able to be as active recently. And that's very, very important. And that's probably why the triglycerides were increasing as well. And then in terms of the overall cardiovascular risk, everything that Dr. Umat just laid out is very important. And then you also want to consider inflammation, oxidative stress, blood sugar levels, because those are very impactful in terms of that endothelial lining. So when we're damaging the lining of the blood vessels, that sets up the scenario where the cholesterol is going to have a place to come in and build that plaque. So if we have healthy blood vessels in the first place, that's also massive for reducing the risk. And then you can also talk to your doctor about antioxidants and some of these other, anti-inflammatory things that we use. And that also will come in the context of even the thyroid gland for the metabolic health, and then lowering inflammation as a whole.
Is that good for you, Ellen?
Yes, the triglyceride has always been low, and 47 is really very low this whole scenario.
Gotcha.
It seems odd that it would be this low.
It seems I misheard the triglyceride number. That's nice and low.
Okay.
That's very low. Oh,
and that's a good thing, Dr. Armstrong?
Yeah, low triglycerides.
Yeah, that's a good
great
thing, Ellen.
So that is protective. And then you do want that Cleveland Heart Lab panel to suss it out and break down those different types of risks that you have going on. Some good with the low triglycerides, HDL good to a point, get the size of the LDL and that further information and go from there.
Very good. Ellen, we hear the music. We've got to run.
Thank
You're
you so
very
much for
welcome.
all this information.
Oh, you are so
Bye-bye.
very welcome. Thank you, Ellen, and Merry Christmas. Hey, we're going to be back with Todd and also with Tony and their questions for the doctors. Stay right there. This is Leading Edge Medicine.
Leading Edge Medicine. Leading Edge Medicine. For the first time in history, you can choose how to age. Call now with your questions at 1-800-465-8770. That's 1-800-465-8770.
Meet Sarah. She tried one of those online weight loss programs, filled out a form, got a prescription, and a few weeks later, she felt dizzy, weak, and frustrated. No one was checking in. No one was making sure the plan was safe for her body. That's when she turned to Longevity Medical Clinics. Our medically supervised GLP-1 program helped Sarah lose weight safely, while we monitored her progress every step of the way. Today, she feels healthier, stronger, and more confident than ever. At Longevity Medical Clinics, we believe weight loss isn't just about dropping pounds. It's about restoring your health, with real doctors, real monitoring, and a plan that works for your body. If you're serious about losing weight and you want to do it the right way, Longevity Medical Clinic is here to help. Call Longevity Medical Clinics today at 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com for your free health analysis. Longevity Medical Clinics. Safe, supported, life-changing. lmclinic.com.
At Longevity Medical Clinic, we're always looking for ways to better support your health journey. That's why we're excited to share that Longevity Development, our business and marketing arm, has entered a new management relationship with Paramount Pharmacy. We can't tell you where to fill your compounded prescriptions. That's entirely your choice. But for years, we've confidently recommended Paramount Pharmacy because of their excellent quality control, competitive pricing, and outstanding customer service. And now with this closer collaboration, we're working side by side to make your healthcare experience even better. To celebrate, Paramount Pharmacy is offering a 30% discount on your first 90-day supply of compounded medication for all new patients. Interested? Just call Paramount at 425-251-1660. That's 425-251-1660. Paramount Pharmacy and Longevity Medical Clinic. A team approach to better health care.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols
being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos.
Everybody knows. We're back. It's Leading Edge Medicine. Hi there. My name is Lynette, along with Dr. Samira Umat in our studio today and Dr. Nathaniel Armstrong. Dr. Mixon is on vacation with his family for Christmas. We're taking your calls right now, and we've got room for you at 1-800-465-8770. Right now, taking a call from Mukilteo. Todd is there. Hi, Todd.
Hello, Todd.
Hello, guys. I love your show. Listen to it every chance I get. And the question today is on GERD. How do you treat GERD? What's your treatment for GERD?
What?
GERD.
Oh, GERD.
Oh, GERD. Okay. Mm-hmm. Gastroesophageal reflux disease.
That's
GERD.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long have you had it, Todd?
Well, off and on for probably maybe 10 years. And sometimes I have it worse and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have it at all. But it's been, as I've gotten older, it's more insistent. And, of course, it just annoys me. And a lot of my friends have it. Of course, they sleep on little inclined pillows and everything else. And I hate to have to go that route. And I was wondering if there's something else I could do. Because I get it, again, mostly at night. And it almost goes away immediately. I want to get up and move around during the day. But it's just like, gosh, don't like the feeling of it. And is there anything I can do? I've talked to my doctor about it. They gave me a omeprazole. I didn't think that helped at all. And it's not, I think, very good for you anyway. So I don't know. Okay. Is there anything else I can do?
All right. So let's talk about this a little bit. Let's talk about what it is. So clinically, when you eat food, it goes down the mouth through the esophagus into the stomach. And at the bottom half of the stomach, there is a sphincter, or at the upper half of the stomach, at the bottom half of the esophagus, there's a sphincter that protects the food from the thoracic cavity from going into the abdominal cavity and vice versa, more importantly, at will. So it's controlled. So when you eat a bolus of food, the sphincter has to open to allow the food to go in the stomach, and then the sphincter closes, protecting you from the acidic medium of the stomach to come back into the esophagus. What does that mean? It means that in the stomach, the pH has to be very low for that food that you just ate to be digested, to be broken down, and then for the nutrients from that food to be absorbed through the lining of the GI tract, okay? So if the stomach is not acid, then you're not going to absorb the food. But that sphincter protects your esophagus, and it protects you from feeling that acid. The acid needs to stay in the abdominal cavity and below. But when that sphincter becomes weak, and when you eat and then the acid medium of the food comes through that sphincter, the lower end of the sphincter, into the esophagus, now you have the wrong acid medium in the right place, and that causes symptoms of heartburn. So what is the problem with that? What's the risk for cancer? If it erodes the lining of the esophagus, it can cause cancer. And so we worry about that and we go, oh my gosh, we got to protect you from that. We got to neutralize all the acid so that you don't have any problems with that acid burning through the lining of the esophagus. But the thing that we're missing in that is, one, you're not absorbing all the nutrients from the food that you're going to eat. And then the second thing is we haven't really addressed the pathology. That sphincter is still weak. And so what you want to do is to try to maintain the acidity in the stomach, but that allows you to digest the food, because if that's not in the right pH, you won't absorb any nutrients from the food that you are eating, okay? And so people get into this dilemma because the antacids, the proton pump inhibitors that are used to neutralize the acid, very good in protecting you from cancer. And so if you need the drug, you need the drug. But the drug was not made for eternal use. It was not made for you to use it consistently and constantly. because if you do that, then that low acid medium actually has downstream ramifications. It can even thin your bones out. It can have other health related issues. So we always weigh risk-benefit ratio. A good drug at the right time, for the right duration, for the right person will do the job. In your case, it didn't even do that, but that acid is still causing symptoms for you. So first and foremost, risk stratification, proper diagnosis. We must know what is the lining of the esophagus like for you. So you do need to see the doctor. You do need to have an endoscopy done, and you do need to know, are you at risk for anything right now or not? And that will then guide further management. You need the acid in the right place. And what I've learned here is that some people actually have a deficiency of the acid, which causes the symptoms to be worse. Paradoxical as it is, in some people, this has worked miracles. So your problem may not be too much acid because the proton pump inhibitor did not work for you. Your problem may be not enough acid. So what I do for some of my patients is I do a little experiment with them. With the largest meal of the day, I have them take a little bit of betaine, hydrochloric acid, and some enzymes mixed in that, different types, and we can talk about that. And then I have them chew it in the middle of the meal. And when they become symptomatic with a little bit of reflux pain, that means they've had too much. So they start with 1 capsule, they'll go to 2 capsules, they'll stick to 2 capsules, they may go to 3 capsules, and then we'll see if the dose is determined by when you start getting some pain. If you start getting pain, you've taken too much of the betaine. So you go to a lower dose. So if at 3 capsules you start getting some symptoms, your dose is 2 capsules with that meal. And so every meal, depending upon how much you eat, you adjust the dose of the betaine hydrochloride you're using. And that will then give you symptom relief. So that's how I use this for my patients. Betaine hydrochloride. Hydrochloric acid is very important in the stomach at the right time. Sometimes, especially if the proton pump inhibitor is not working for you, the issue may be actually that you have less acid and not more.
Another clue why that may be the case is how it's gotten worse over the years.
Yeah.
And it's very common, unfortunately, for a lot of people that stomach acid production will decline over time.
Absolutely right. It does decrease over time. Correct. And then, I'm sure you've done the basic things which we didn't discuss here, which is small, frequent meals, not too much late at night. Definitely don't eat late, a heavy meal, and then lay back. Cut back on the alcohol. Sometimes even caffeine can be harmful for some people. So do those basic things. I'm assuming that you've been taught about that and that you've done all of that. And sometimes it's not just elevating the head end of the bed. You actually want to put blocks under the bed, to raise the whole bed. Hard to sleep like that. But nonetheless, some people have to do it to prevent that reflux. Yours, it doesn't seem to be that the acid is refluxing back. Sounds more like you don't have enough acid.
Interesting. Okay.
I could give you a couple more thoughts too.
And do you have a good source of a supplement for betaine hydrochloride? I always tell them to use ours.
We use ours.
Yeah,
it's as good as any. It's just the straight stuff, the betaine HCl.
Yeah. It's just called betaine HCl. That's all.
A couple other supplements one could think about. There's a product I really like. I've used quite a bit over the years. It's called GI Fortify by Pure Encapsulations, and that's some really beneficial different forms of fiber as well as digestive herbs. So funny enough, marshmallow is actually a plant. The candy came later, derived from the plant.
Oh, it did? Okay, I was wondering if it came.
And same with licorice. So licorice root so licorice root and marshmallow, the herb, are have all of their wonderful benefits. Licorice in particular is a fascinating herb. It can do so many things in the body, but it's really good for digestion. The thing to be aware of with the licorice is you don't want to take licorice, anybody who has high blood pressure. But now they also make, it's called DGL. It's deglycyrrhizated licorice, which removes the constituent within the licorice that causes the high blood pressure. So you'll find the marshmallow root, the DGL, a number of other, they're called mucilaginous herbs. They're like soothing to coat the GI system and reduce inflammation and calm this down.
There is also an orange peel extract of some kind on the market that is for reflux symptoms that for people who can't take proton pump inhibitors.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Actually,
I've heard
I haven't seen
Dr.
that one.
Pentland talk about that once.
Okay.
Yeah. So DGL, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. So that's a lot to start with, everything we've already mentioned. And then sometimes there's even some further utility. We can even run a food antibody panel, because sometimes if there's foods that we're eating that we're reactive to, that's increasing inflammation, and then the inflammation is affecting the chemistry and even up to and including the esophageal sphincter in that way.
Super. That's very good. That's very good. And I was on a tangential thing. Does coffee sometimes, I notice when I drink more coffee, I have a lot more reflux.
Yeah.
And so maybe we should just cut the coffee. That's too bad, because we like coffee. So is there a way to still drink that and not have that hit?
Yeah, and you know what you could try is you could try the decaf version of caffeine. Sometimes you just need a little bit, but try that. Sometimes I just like the aroma of the coffee, and I can't tell
There's
if it's
something
decaf
about that
or
aroma
not.
and the routine, the habitual.
Yeah, but definitely try the decaf coffee. It might be. You know, the other thing, coffee. Men don't, particularly for men don't think about this, but I have had many people over the course of my career where the prostatitis is exacerbated by a lot of coffee. So for men who have prostatitis, I always ask them about how much coffee they drink. So not related to anything to what we're talking about, but just because of coffee it came up. So I thought
it also goes back to, in terms of the coffee, the acidity question there. So coffee being acidic, now that indicates maybe we are dealing with, an excess of stomach acid, because if it's actually worse when you're taking in an acidic food. So you're going to have to play with it, because, there's different triggers for different people. The common things, coffee is unfortunately pretty common for a lot of people with heartburn. Coffee, alcohol, sugar, spicy food, right? Obviously, those are the ones. But then sometimes it's useful to add a tiny pinch of baking soda to the coffee, and that will neutralize the acidity in the coffee itself.
I never did that. But you know what? I was looking at you as you're talking about coffee. And yes, I know in this case, it may be not a good thing for you, but, coffee cures everything. Did you know that?
Wait a minute. I don't know if we can quote the doctor on that. Yeah.
No, I'm just joking aside, but definitely cut back on your caffeine, especially if you've noticed that association.
There's quite a few variables to interact with.
Thank you, Todd. Any other questions? Are you good?
You guys are great. Appreciate your help very much. Thank you a lot.
You bet.
Good luck, Todd.
Taking a break and back with Tony in Seattle. In just a moment, you're listening to Leading Edge Medicine. Stay right there.
Leading Edge Medicine. Leading Edge Medicine. Join in the conversation at 1-800-465-8770 and tell your friends to listen. That's 1-800-465-8770.
GLP-1 weight loss medications are powerful, but without medical oversight, they can also be risky. At Longevity Medical Clinics, we don't believe in shortcuts. We believe in real medicine, real monitoring, and real results. Our GLP-1 weight loss program is personalized to your biology with lab work, ongoing adjustments, and medical professionals guiding you every step of the way. Here's the truth. These medications can suppress appetite and help you lose weight. But if no one's monitoring your heart, your blood sugar, or your overall health, you could be putting your body at risk. That's why we test, track, and fine-tune so your results are safe and sustainable. If you're serious about losing weight and you want to do it the right way, Longevity Medical Clinic is here to help. We combine the power of modern medicine with the confidence of medical oversight, so you can focus on feeling better, stronger, and healthier. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com to schedule your free health analysis. Longevity Medical Clinics.
Are you ready to get rid of your reading glasses? Or maybe as you're getting older, and we all are, you just want your vision to be the best it can be. It's time to look into refractive lens exchange at Northwest Vision Institute with Dr. Michael Gilbert. RLE is performed in the same process as cataract surgery. The natural lens is removed and replaced with a high-tech intraocular lens implant. Basically, what that means is your vision will be crystal clear, you'll be able to see far away or up close or both. The difference is incredible. Imagine. No more contact lenses. No more searching for the reading glasses. Most likely, these will be the last lenses you will ever need. RLE is just one of the services offered at Northwest Vision Institute. Come in and see Dr. Michael Gilbert and his team at Northwest Vision Institute. Call 425-450-2020 or online nwvision.com.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas
There you
tree.
go. I'll do the singing. Dr. Matt, you do the rockin' around.
Sounds like
with
a great
Dr.
idea.
Armstrong,
Yeah,
the Christmas tree. I still can't
awesome.
believe she was Brenda Lee, 13 years old when she recorded that.
Really?
Can you believe that?
No, I did not even know
biggest
that. Really?
hit, and still, yes, still one of those popular songs we hear every single year at Christmas. You just gotta like Bing and Nat King Cole. All right. Oh, we lost Tony from Seattle. I think he got his question answered when you were talking, Dr. Armstrong, about the side effects of the sweeteners, right?
The alcohols.
Sugar alcohol.
The sugar alcohol.
Not
which
the alcohol,
behave sugar alcohols, which behave in the body neither like sugar nor like alcohol.
So sad. What's the point of taking them, right? Okay, guys.
All right.
If you're going to be drinking a lot of alcohol, please take extra milk thistle. Protect that liver, okay? My tip for you for the holidays.
Can't go wrong with milk thistle.
Yep.
Whoa.
Indeed. All right, Lynette, do we have a caller?
We do not have a caller. So, doctors, let's pick a topic.
Well, we've been talking a lot about aging. Remember what I said. The number one cause for disease today is aging. As you get older, your likelihood of falling apart, I'm one of you, is increasing. But the point is that we can do a lot today to protect ourselves. But you have to work at it. I can give you a list and a litany of things that you should take. And if you decide to take them but do nothing else, it's not really going to be that helpful. So if you work at it, our doctors here at Longevity will work with you. And remember, what I've learned over the years is things change all the time with our patients. So you may start with a goal, but that goal will change. So I have something to tell all of you listeners that are longevity patients. When you go back in for your next appointment with your longevity doctor, tell them that you want to discuss your new goals, okay? So all of you, tell your doctor that your goal for your next visit is whatever, okay? And then start working on those goals and change those goals as you're evolving and you're changing, okay? It's important for us to focus in on what brings you, and then when your doctor knows your history, your lab results, but when you fill out the questionnaire, write for them, my goal for this visit is, and that will then really help guide your team into how to help you, because that goal is changing all the time. I have my patients do that for me, and it's really helpful because then I know where to focus in, family history of cancer, really worried about cancer. Then I know what to do. Really worried that my verbal fluency is changing. Or sister was recently diagnosed with dementia. Can we talk about memory? So whatever is top of mind for you, bring that to your doctor's attention. So that's your mission for everybody that's a longevity patient. And for all those listeners that are not longevity patients, what are you waiting for?
All right. Wow. That's right. What are you waiting for?
There you go. Don't wait. Come in.
Come
get the
in
blood
now.
draw. Come in for the health analysis visit. and get that blood draw. So for the $595 blood draw, we cover extensive blood work. So we talked about cholesterol today, and we talked about going beyond just the standard of care in terms of your mainstream doctor will run HDL, LDL, total cholesterol, triglycerides. But what we talked about in terms of the Cleveland Heart Lab panel, that is not included in our $595, but it's an option once you become a patient. But what we do include in the $595 blood panel that goes beyond what is often being looked at is we always look at C-reactive protein, which is a measure of inflammation in the body and is very strongly correlated with cardiovascular risk. And we look at homocysteine, which almost no doctor out there is looking at. I always used to, I talk about my first exposure to Longevity Medical Clinic. I was a family practice doctor over on Whidbey Island, and somebody brought in the health analysis blood work. And I was looking through it, and I was like, they know what they're doing over there.
Really? Okay.
Honestly. And I was like, they ran a homocysteine. And I literally said to this person, I was like, I thought I was the only one running homocysteine because it's so important. And I do not know why this isn't looked at more. And they're doing that. So I was very impressed when I saw this blood work from somebody and come in, and then we were able to talk it through. So we do include that with our $595 and an hour-long visit to go over all of these extensive results. We look at the thyroid. But again, mainstream medicine very often is only going to look at TSH for the thyroid. We look at the free T3, which is the most active thyroid hormone, and the free T4, which is the most abundant hormone that the thyroid gland is producing. And so we want the balance between all of these. We look at all the hormones, testosterone, progesterone, estrogen. We look at DHEA and pregnenolone, which again, most people don't look at, and many people have never even heard of. But it's our job to know these are upstream from some of these other hormones, and they keep the balance. And pregnenolone in particular is like anti-inflammatory, and sometimes it's called the mother of all hormones. And with age, and a lot of times very common, we see those cholesterols are going up. At the same exact time, the hormone levels are coming down. And it's the cholesterol getting converted into pregnenolone, which is the first step in the hormone pathway. So as we're getting older and then we're not even getting that first step, and then the whole hormone milieu is going to collapse, and we're getting more and more cholesterol because the body wants to convert into those hormones, and we're getting lower and lower hormones. So we look at that whole picture. And then we look at blood sugar, we look at the hemoglobin A1C, where again, normal standard of care blood work, they're only going to look at a hemoglobin A1C if the fasting glucose is elevated. We don't wait until we have pathology. We're preventive, and we want optimal. So we're not going to wait until the blood sugar is out of range before we're going to look at something that's as important as the hemoglobin A1C. We're going to address that from day one, where we're concerned about the progression of diabetes, and we're wanting to avoid that. And then even in that same picture, we look at insulin. And it all starts with insulin resistance in terms of obesity, high blood sugar. That leads to pre-diabetes. And if you don't do anything, then that leads to diabetes. And if you're in mainstream medicine, you don't do anything until you get your diabetes medication. But what happened to health? It was lost long ago when you first started down that journey of insulin resistance. We want to, and we know how to bring you back to a state of health, not just with drugs. Drugs do have their place, and they're very important sometimes. But a lot of times they're only indicated once you've gone down pretty far down that road. And so we know what can we do with nutrition, what can we do with supplements, what can we do with natural things, and we could talk about all these different variables in terms of correcting that insulin resistance. And so all of this and more is included in that $595 blood draw and the hour-long visit to go over where you're at with your health and how to help you with your goals.
Yeah. And so it's a very good starting place. But as you know, everything in medicine is changing. I was surprised to hear that the turnaround time in medical knowledge is now just about 75 days or something like that. It was crazy. When I went to medical school, nothing changed. But now we're in the age when things are changing. So here too at Longevity, we are looking at adding new tests to the current ones that we are doing for you. And as soon as we update our equipment, we will be able to offer more things. We do measure lipoprotein particle A. We do apolipoprotein B, which are very important markers. We do inflammation markers for heart disease. We'll also start measuring some important kidney function tests, like cystatin C levels. So there is a wish list that is out there that I created. And so let's see how many of those wishes will come true in the new year. But they're all geared towards helping us help you be better. Okay?
Wonderful. Thank you so much, doctors. Good
Pleasure.
show with lots of different topics. Now, if you would love to get in and make that appointment like Dr. Umat was talking about at one of our longevity clinics, we have 3 for you to choose from. One in Linwood, one in Kirkland, and in Tacoma as well. And what you could do is one of 2 things. Go and pick up your phone and call us, and we'll get you scheduled right away, the day and time that works best for your schedule. 866-86-YOUNG. That's 866-86-YOUNG, or go to our website at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com. Thank you so much for listening today and for tuning in. We will be recorded next week during the Christmas holiday. We'll see you in the new year. Merry Christmas.
Seattle Red on 770 KTTH Seattle, 97.3 KIRO FM HD3 Tacoma Seattle, 94.5 K233 DT Eastlake.